This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 767, Cutting to the Core. Enjoy. Basically, the way it was described is that when you click to move on your screen, it sends that request to the server. The server calculates the path, sends it back to you, and your character moves.
So this would be most beneficial for PVM, and that's the one place where it ain't going to work.
Well, they said it
Okay.
could potentially not work because you might miss some animations. It would effectively have the chance of introducing rubber banding to RuneScape, which is common in other games. Basically,
I know why they wouldn't do that.
Basically, what they did is they said the client needed more information than it gets right now to make this happen. And the biggest challenge for this entire project was knowing when the player wasn't allowed to move, because the server doesn't know whether a person's going to be allowed to move until that next square of movement happens, because any kind of content or scripting game can just automatically put a stop to players moving. So that was their biggest bottleneck for this one. Now, using the most up-to-date information that your client has, the client will predict 1 tick's worth of movement, and then confirmation and correction is done once your character actually moves there. They say most times it works as expected, but if it doesn't, it'll rubber band you back. That's the video game terminology that we would see in other areas with this. And this has nothing to do with the dead clicks that players perceive. That's a separate issue, they said.
Well, gee, I just went from being kind of excited to meh. Doesn't sound like it's going to have any effect.
So it's not
on me at all.
it's not gonna affect, it's not gonna make PVM responsive like people have wanted it. It's just gonna make the game look better.
Yeah, and that's who I think this is targeted at. Remember, this is the core experience team. I think this is based on feedback from new players that the game feels slow and unresponsive. Because, their way of trying to address that.
If you look at what was done in this showcase here, you watch people move around, and you compare that to just, your regular character moving and how your player zigzags back and forth. This one now is a lot more natural in terms of movement. So, just like with smoothment. And
it's about how the game feels, not necessarily how it performs.
Right. And then the question is, would this be an option to have the players turn it off if they didn't want it on for PVM? Or would Jagex just make the blanket decision to turn it off for PVM?
I can understand
that sounds like under the hood stuff.
It makes sense to me.
What, to turn it off?
To turn it off for PVM.
For everyone?
Because it's that really sad feeling you get where you click out of an effect like fire on the ground and you see your character move out of the fire and then it kills you because the game still thinks you're back where you were when you sent the packet. It's that desync that you get that really makes it feel like
tick and ping.
It's not your fault.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really does.
And this ain't going to do anything for that.
Not at all. Even worse, it's going to mask it. So it's going to seem like everything's fine until it isn't.
Yeah, and when things go haywire or you have a bad internet connection, you're going to get rubber banding, which, you decide what you want. Do you want the delay in your character moving or do you want rubber banding?
I choose neither. I don't know.
I think Jagex might as well.
And, I was initially very excited about this when seeing it, but I'm starting to think that, if this isn't going to be a game-wide solution and it's going to be on and off at different times, I just think that it shouldn't happen.
It
pains me to say that.
Add another layer of confusion.
It pains me to say that, but I think that's the way it's got to be.
I think even if you don't have it at PVM, I think the value to the new player might be enough to justify it. Making the game seem more responsive when taking your first steps in the world. Because that's a common complaint that I've heard even.
Yeah, definitely.
From new players.
Your character can't move.
Yeah. Why is it taking so long to respond?
Especially if you can move with the mini-map. Because I never even see my character move. I'm staring at my map when I click. I never... Or rarely am I clicking around actual character.
And you know what they also said? They said as this has been being worked on, server performance issues have been found. And these are being worked on, and lower population worlds make it better. So in addition, if you want the best experience, lower population and lower ping.
Oh yeah, but let's get rid of a bunch of worlds and cram everyone together. Won't that make sense?
Did you guys see the video on this, actually? There was somebody on Double XP Weekend who noticed significant slowdown on one of the portable worlds.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
He took a video of himself fletching. It took like, the interface, the MakeX interface said like 92 seconds or something, but it actually took more than 2 minutes to finish that transaction.
I had major issues on portable worlds during next Double XP Weekend. True.
So I think if nothing else, that's a big win to come out of this core experience development, to find server issues and improve server performance.
Yeah, definitely. You can watch full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. You can also listen to audio versions of RSBANDB Update at update.rsbnb.com, and feel free to subscribe to our show and any number of podcast listeners out there at update.rsbnb.com/subscribe.